what was life like for you growing up?
So my dad has owned businesses most of my life. So when I was in sixth grade, he started his own or his first business, which was a pre-press typesetting company. So that's what he did my entire childhood. So he was a workaholic. So he would take me into the office and like on a Saturday, and I remember just having the office to me and him, and I'd go play around and just watching him be a workaholic is how childhood really was. But he was always there for sporting events, never missed those. Um, was always home in time to do the tuck ins and the kisses and stuff like that. But yeah, that's how I was raised. My dad was a workaholic. But in sixth grade, when he started his own business, that workaholic potential turned into a future sale. So he sold that business some years later, and then bought a liquor store. And at the time, I was at OSU, and he was in his like third year of the liquor store, and I had the opportunity because I was on my third year at OSU. I had the opportunity um, to work with him. I went through my childhood really quick. I'm already like a college kid now at this point. Had a real quick childhood, really fast. Um, yeah, I could go back to the childhood stuff, but yeah, I ended up working for his liquor store. Um,
Okay.
so yeah.
Did you have any hobbies, interests, anything like that growing up?
No, it's just I was kind of a only child. My sister was 10 years older than me, so when she moved out at 18, I was 8. So essentially, just had like an only child lifestyle. I had all the attention, all the food was about me. Nintendo was big, so that was my life. But
Yeah,
yeah, I had neighborhood friends. It was just I was just a kid back when being a kid was without technology other than Nintendo.
sure.
Um, yeah.
Are you from here, from Central Ohio,
Yeah,
or
I'm Gahanna, born and raised. Yeah. I
okay,
live in New Albany now, so
awesome. Was did business interest you as you grew up and seeing your dad in that position of being an entrepreneur and running his own businesses? Was that always a career path for you, or
no. So I talk about in my consultations that ignorance is not bliss. But I have referenced when I bought my first house in 2009, ignorance was bliss for me. Literally, my dad called me. I was like 28 or 29. He called me. At the time, he was in Las Vegas. He'd already sold his liquor store and kind of semi-retired out there. He said, "It's about time for you to buy a house. I'm going to have my real estate agent call you." I said, "Okay, Dad." The next day, the guy called, booked a meeting with me to go to Panera Bread, and that was just the start of it. It was just ignorance was bliss for me. So I mean, I worked for my dad at his liquor store, and when the time came for him to part ways and move to Vegas, I didn't even realize alcohol sales jobs were a job. I didn't really have any. I was a business major, a music major, and an art major at OSU. So as a kid, I didn't have any. I'm going to be this when I grow up, and that was I was just kind of like floating. So really, I started to become a real adult because of real estate, becoming a fiduciary and actually putting people before yourself. Um, realizing I'm in this really important position for people. Um, I was always really good in sales, but sales is just customer service. So, yeah, essentially, I'm just here. I feel like I'm on God's journey and God's path. I didn't expect to be here or how I got here at all. So,
yeah, yeah, and we'll definitely touch on the real estate side. I want to go to the college side. You said you had three different majors that
mm-hmm.
you did on when you're at OSU. Um, I'm assuming ended up graduating.
No, no, my dad. So I was a C student for sure, all throughout
Yeah.
high school. Didn't really care. High school for me was just fun. It was sports and people. And then when college came around, my dad, being the smart person that he was, said you should live at home with me because I couldn't get into OSU main campus. I got into OSU Newark. So he said, live at home with me. You'll get good grades and it'll be easier for you. And what do you know? I made the merit roll for the first time in my life in college, and I just was dedicated, and I wasn't partying and having too much fun. I was having fun, but not too much fun. And then when I went to main campus sophomore year, that's when I realized I couldn't keep up in business. I'm not smart like these other people are. So I switched to something I enjoy, which was art. And then I couldn't keep up with art because I actually had a bad scheduling decision. I just scheduled two history of art classes at the same time and started to fail both of those. So I switched majors to music. I actually got into the School of Music for voice, but couldn't sight read. I had the talented singing voice, but I just did everything through memorization. So once I realized that college was not for me at this time in life, I asked my dad if I could stop going to college, like it was his decision. And he's like, "You can take a break and you can come work for me at the liquor store. I'll pay you $32,000 a year." It's like he already knew that this day was coming because it all happened. Like he knew exactly how much he was going to pay me. And for a 22-year-old, yeah, making $32,000 a year, that was like a lot of money. So yeah, worked for him at the liquor store for a couple years, and then applied to all the different distributorships that I knew about, and Heidelberg Distributing was the first one to call me, and the rest was that. The rest was history as far as like going into sales and trying to get a route, trying to be the best, out of all the other salespeople. And competition really became my adult work ethic. It was just like anywhere I was at, there was some reason to compete, something to challenge myself to go for. Um, and then real estate was like that too. So
Yeah. It's funny because you mentioned not getting into Ohio State. I wasn't able to get into main campus either. And I also went to OSU Newark, and it was also the best GPA I
nice.
ever had in college. So,
It was awesome. Yeah, I really liked it out there. What
yeah,
year did you go there?
that would have been 2007. So
Okay.
fall
Yeah.
2007 going into 2008. But
Yeah, I was
so
like, where's this coming from? This is awesome.
so you end up not graduating, going into the family business, right? Working at the liquor store, that ends up being sold, and now you're kind of doing more of distribution sales, right? Was sales
Yep.
something? And I think you mentioned earlier that sales was kind of always kind of like a strong suit for you because it's just customer service is just people. Um, Lead me up to the point of, when you were getting ready to make that decision to go into real estate. How long were you doing the distribution
Um,
sales, and then when did you decide that
yeah.
real estate was your next move?
Well, I kind of got forced into it because I ended up getting let go at Heidelberg Distributing. I was with them for 13 years, um, 10 of which I was a sales rep. And out of 3 of those years, or 3 of the 7 years, I was salesman of the year. So I got promoted to manager, and I quit drinking. Right as soon as I got promoted, I stopped drinking. I got baptized, stopped drinking, said I was going to quit for 40 days, and it just kept going. So now I'm this guy in a distributing company that doesn't even drink the products that he's selling. A little awkward. And then from there, just kind of like I felt myself being definitely me wanting to be not there anymore, not wanting to socialize, not wanting to. I mean, from being a 20-something-year-old kid, being in the alcohol business, that's a pretty cool job. So when I left my dad's liquor store at night, I would leave there with craft beer and go hang out with my friends, and making $32,000 a year it was really cool. And then when I got a job at Heidelberg, I actually made less than 32,000, but every Friday we're trying new wines and new craft beers, and as a 20-something-year-old, that's a really cool job too. So eventually, time goes by, and I'm not even a consumer of these products. I still had a lot of passion for training people, or trying to train people. Um, Management's not necessarily been my strongest suit because I'm kind of like a do it myself, do it my way type A kind of guy, which I got from my dad. My dad's a workaholic, um, perfectionist, even though that's ridiculous to shoot for. But I don't know. There's always something like competing that makes you want to do something better than the last time you did it. but every